Interesting thing I can tell is that when we wanted to do some more programming, I don't have some freedom as I like to have. So we initiated this Vijay Human Services, and the criterion for admission in Vijay Human Services, the children, and the criterion for admission is that they should have got rejected by all the service facilities in Madras for the retired. If they got rejected, we take them and we try to train them. And here only we started this yoga practice intensively.
Lata, as a psychologist yourself, do you teach them the yoga?
Yeah, because I've also done a course on teaching, I'm also a yoga teacher as such. So I'm doing that as a principal here. I've been writing a program for each and every child. Like I said, it's individual program planning here. So each child, we see what are the skills he can do and what are the skills he cannot do. We've got I think I've shown you already about that Madras developmental scale which we had devised. And so on that, we've just marked them what are the things they can do and what are the things they cannot do. And then we take the goals, what he has to do for the next 3 months, the objectives we decide. That is according to the priority goals, which he has to learn immediately and which he can do it slowly. And so we set up goals and then write the procedure as how it is to be done, how to accomplish, what is the rewards and what is the methodology we write, and then give it to the teacher whom we assign the student, and they follow it. So after 3 months, again we have to evaluate. I evaluate them and see how far he's done, and the percentage is done, like percentage of success. So if he isn't fully up to the expectation, then we train him on it again. Or if he has finished that, accomplished the task, then we write the other next set of goals for him and program for the next 3 months. So like this, every 3 months I've been doing the programming for them. This is an individual program. We don't see everybody as a whole. That is, it's not a class. Whereas we go in for each child has a goal. Each child has goals. And so we have individual program for each children and we work accordingly. So children who can study, who can go in academics, he's taught academics. Children who needs only for coordination, he's taught motor coordination. And like that, goals are set for each child, and then each teacher, is trained as special educator. So they are able to meet each and everyone's need. Initially, he was a boy who couldn't squat at all. He had problems like drooling, and he didn't have toilet control at all. And most of the doctors who had seen everywhere, they just said straight away that he's a retarded. But then when we tested him here, in many of the spheres, he wasn't at all retarded. He wasn't a retarded at all. He could do things, but only thing is toilet control and all he didn't have because of the type of toileting we have here. It is mostly the squatting type, and this is a boy whose physiology didn't allow him to sit and things like that. So many of the doctors recommended him to do an operation, but then we took him to this yoga mandiram, and then they said we'll give a 3 months period, see how it works out. And so we did yoga on him, and now he can squat fairly well and he doesn't have any more problem. And he began pretty late in studies also. He began around 10 years. Now he can study well. He's come up to the 4th standard level.
What age is he now?
He's 13, 14. Come up to the 4th standard level, and now he doesn't have those problems anymore. It's only a little bit of problem behavior here that is due to attention seeking, but otherwise he's perfectly all right. And that boy, Raju, and that boy is a hyperactive boy, and if you see his IQ would come up to 55, 56, around 58, 50, that level, but he's doing so well in academics. He just loves to study, and one of his main thing is, if you leave him alone, he'll take up a book and start reading any kind of book, even if it is something about very high. He just loves to read. Though exactly, even if he follows or not, that is different. That's his one of his main rewards also, if we had to punish him on reward, we just have to say we won't give you a homework and he'll do everything. He loves homework. And doing yoga is, hyperactivity has come to a control to a great extent. Initially he used to be very hyperactive. And that boy in blue, this is the last boy. He's more the lethargic type. That is, takes him long to do anything, and he doesn't want to do things like that. So this yoga has sort of livened him up. This boy initially had very poor health and he never used to come very often because he used to fall sick very, very often. But then now after doing yoga, his health has improved. Because his health has improved, thus his attendance has improved. So attendance, naturally more concentration. Since he feels healthy, he concentrates more and is, automatically he learns more, and this way it's helped him to a great extent. Similarly, he also has this lack of concentration, very hyperactive, and now this has brought him to a certain extent. Now he's concentrating more and he's started studying, doing a lot of academics. So, but then initially it was very difficult. We found that making them, like I said previously, this counting, it not only, but these are quite big boys, but even for the smaller ones, it not only helps them to learn the number concepts, but also helps them in the breathing. Because we couldn't tell them to inhale or exhale, so we asked them to do this. Now they all love to do yoga. Like another thing is, if we say you won't do yoga today, they do all their work. Say that is their punishment. No yoga today? No, then immediately they do everything they are asked to do.
And how have their parents taken to these changes?
First, initially maybe they didn't have much of a belief in yoga. They never thought it's going to. That's why we always, like for this boy also, we said initially you give him a trial period, see how it works. But then once they're seeing it for themselves, now they're also more excited about it. So some of them do yoga at home, and some of them who can't do anyway, it's helping them in school, doing yoga in school.
In India, there are millions of people with severe learning difficulties, but relatively few specially trained teachers. However, mental retardation was seen as more of a social problem than as an inadequacy in the individual. The yoga program for children has demonstrated how yoga can influence behavioral and learning difficulties and improve their domestic lives, and how parents and teachers can benefit.
But in our part of this country, in any school for the retarded you go, there will be a period, it will stay, like play therapy or gross motor development or speech development. You see yoga therapy. That's just before the lunch break. They do this yoga, all the children, they do this yoga and attend the class and go for the lunch. So it is the year long they will be doing. On them they will practice to gain the knowledge, and they will teach, so that whatever the problems they encounter in teaching the retarded, they clarify how to teach that from me, and they teach it. To make a special educator who is working with the mentally retarded, teaching yoga for the mentally retarded for 3 months, then no teacher will leave the yoga practice.